Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin as we're entering a new trading week. Yeah, we are walking, running towards the weekly candle close. It was a really boring weekend. A few people commented in previous videos yesterday that it was a very boring week. But actually, no, I think it was not a boring week. I think it was a pretty crazy week with all the stuff surrounding FTX, Binance, and now also Crypto.com, where some of that might be FUD with Crypto.com. I don't know. But there's a lot going on in the crypto space, and I found it actually quite refreshing not to see too much movement on the weekend. So let's take a look at the lower level price action, but maybe actually we start that with just a general overview here still of the overall wave pattern here. So the view is still that Bitcoin can make a new low. Yeah, it absolutely can. This is not off the radar, but I will tell you which levels need to be broken to make this additional low less likely. As we speak, by the way, we're just coming down here to around 16.3k, so we're getting closer to key support. Here with Bitcoin, the view is that obviously this was a wave 4 high that was back in August 22, and we are now coming down in a fifth wave. And this fifth wave, there are two possibilities. Again, the green count for all new viewers, the green count is A here, wave B here, and the wave C currently ongoing. This was the primary expectation, or has been the primary expectation for the last probably 4 to 5 weeks. It's played out nicely. The view was that this was a wave 1 in C. This here was a wave 2 where we moved up. We identified that short-term upside potential, which eventually worked out all the way up to 21.45k that was. Yeah, it could have moved all the way up to 21.7, but was constrained below 21.7. A lot of viewers will know that. I mention that all the time, that as long as we stay below 21.7, we expect here a move down in the third wave. That happened here. I think we are currently in a fourth wave and will come down in a fifth afterwards. That is still a very, very likely scenario. In the short term, we can focus, however, on the red count, but to be honest, both are highly probable, I would say. We've reached a state where we just need to wait and see a little bit. Of course, there are key support areas which can be purchased. You can set your stop loss, you can trade this, but in terms of probability, it is unclear in the very short term where we're heading, because Bitcoin has made a new low, the scenario has been fulfilled, and we now need to see if the market decides to make one more low, or if we develop an uptrend. And if we develop an uptrend, that could seriously mean that a more substantial low has been struck. Very important before we go into the lower level price action for all hodlers or long-term investors here, we have reached a situation where Bitcoin's relative strength index has never been that low. Bitcoin's RSI has never been in this area around 40. The lowest it ever did was around 44, 45. We're now just above 40. And I'm just thinking, is this a generational buy opportunity? I mean, that is not financial advice here, but we can currently see that the short positions have increased, by the way. Yeah, BTC shorts have increased massively. And in crypto, you generally want to do the opposite of what people are doing, of what the masses are doing, because the masses are usually wrong, right? So again, does it mean it has to go up today? No, of course not. Does it mean it has to go up tomorrow? No, of course not. But it's sort of looking at it long term, because recently I focused very much on the short term, because I mean we've pretty much been in a range since June, right? So of course I had to focus on the short term, but as we now reach levels where the low could seriously be in for Bitcoin, it is interesting to take a look at these indicators and just to remind ourselves that Bitcoin is getting close to oversold levels on the monthly chart. And some of you will remember, and I think it has actually been a good warning, yeah, but I just realized that again, I've talked about this back in March, April, that I was so concerned about the monthly MACD on the Bitcoin chart, and some of the more, let's say, loyal viewers who've been with us for months and months and months, maybe even a year, will remember that I talked so much about the monthly MACD, and we can see a reversal coming possibly. So when we reach levels around 40k, maybe even 30k, I was still concerned about a very high MACD line. Now this is gladly now coming down, and we're now in the negative area, and we are already seeing a reversal in the histogram here. And that is a very, very good sign, because it means we're getting closer to the low. I mean, this is an extremely lagging indicator, but it meant because the MACD was so high, it was difficult for the price to reverse and to create a new all-time high, because had it reversed to the upside up here, it would have limited Bitcoin's possibility to make new highs, because the indicator would have been exhausted very quickly. Now that's going the right way now. On the weekly, that's a bit different. Here it's sort of, yeah, we had a bit of a green histogram. We are moving up slightly, but this could still come down again. So short term, a lot of things can still happen, like one more low. This is still possible. Bitcoin hasn't really given us a clear signal. The daily MACD, you can see, very indecisive. So the negative momentum is still increasing, but it's slowing down that increase. And we have been oversold as well. We are not anymore, but we're getting still close in the oversold area on the daily. So as soon as this is turning around here, the daily MACD, this could mean some short-term upside potential. But interesting, I think, is on the monthly chart, we've never been that oversold, and the monthly MACD is finally starting to move up. Well, it's not moving up, but the histogram is getting a reduction in negative momentum, and that is, I think, already a good sign that things could be changing finally. Okay, let's take a look at the lower level price action here. So again, the green count is still very much valid, where we could still be moving down in a fifth wave to the downside. The problem we have here with the green count is that the move that started to the downside from the high at around 18.2k here a few days ago, this move down is not really impulsive, at least not yet. And this does not yet suggest an impulsive move to the downside in a fifth wave, even though we need to be open to it. I mean, it could still become an impulsive move to the downside, especially if we break. We're getting close to that, especially if we break 16,160. That is the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement level. And if we substantially break below that level, it would indicate with higher probability that we're going to make a new low here in wave 5, and then we might reach the area between 14 and 16k. That is highly probable. But on the other hand, the move down is not yet impulsive. It is currently a WXY pattern. Yeah, I had a triangle here before, but with those wicks to the upside, the triangle is not valid anymore. So it has to be a WXY, but it's still a corrective move down. So as long as we're holding the yellow support box and maybe just go with a wick below that, that's not a problem. Also, we have this wave 2 low here at around 16,200, right? As long as that's the case and we hold this support box, we can focus on higher in a wave 3. Just need to move that across because this sideways movement takes a bit of time. So yeah, of course, we have indecision in the market. It can still be traded. The most recent support area and long trade possibility was here. That was on the 10th of November. That would have provided a profitable trade. Here we've got another one. Yeah. At the moment, it doesn't look like it's reversing yet, but the next support is around 16,160. As I said, that's a 78.6% Fibonacci retracement, and the advantage of these moves is that the stop loss can be set very, very tight, and that's the advantage of the Elliott Wave method to identify these key areas of support. Even if we go down a little bit lower, of course, as long as we don't get below 15,615, it could theoretically still be a wave 2, but of course it's getting less likely because below the 78.6% retrace, it is typically not likely anymore that the wave 2 is reversing and moving up in a wave 3. So let's take a look at the target for a third wave from, let's calculate it from the 16,160 level, because I think this is quite likely to at least get there and retest it. That will be the next decision point. Target would then be in a wave 3 to 20,300. So that's my update. Hope you liked the update about Bitcoin. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.